everyone. This is Palak Vadadia from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in Department of Electronics and Communication. Today we will discuss the subject that is network theory. And in network theory we will discuss the topic that is a Norton's theorem. Okay. In our earlier session we discussed about the Thevenin theorem, how we can solve the network using the Thevenin theorem, and today we will discuss about the Norton's theorem. So let's start our today's session. So first of all, we will see the statement of Norton's theorem. A Norton's theorem states that any linear circuit containing a several energy sources and resistance can be replaced by the single constant current generator in parallel with the single resistance. This single resistance is known as a Norton equivalent resistance, and this current generator source that is known as a Norton current source. Now you just consider this diagram. Here in this diagram there is a one network. That network contains the series of parallel connection of the resistors, and here we have a one load resistance. So suppose if we want to find out the current or voltage through the load resistance using the Norton's theorem, then we have to follow some particular step. As you know, in Thevenin theorem, if we want to find out the voltage and current, that is using the Thevenin's theorem, then after we have to perform some particular step. So here also we have some set of steps. One by one, if we follow that, then we can easily find out the current and voltage that is through the load resistance. So the first step is what? Here short circuit the load resistance RL. I'll give you the comparison that with the Thevenin and Norton. If you remember in Thevenin's theorem, what we have to do? We have to remove the load resistance RL. Here instead of removing the load resistance, what we have to do? We have to do the short circuit of that terminal, that is our load resistor RL is connected. Now next we have to find out the RN, that is what is Norton's equivalent resistance, by short circuit all the voltage source and by open circuit all the current source. This is the same as the Thevenin's theorem. And yes, one more thing, here you can apply this procedure when you have an independent source in your network. If you have a dependent source, then how you can find out the RN, or we can say RTH, that is with help of the one equation. That equation is what? It's a VTH divided by IN. Alright. Now next is what? We have to find the IN, that is placing the short circuit link on the output terminal. Then find the current flowing through the load resistance RL. That is, we have to draw the one equivalent diagram, and based on that diagram we can easily find out the current or voltage. Now let's discuss one example. Here we have to obtain the value of Norton's equivalent current and Norton's equivalent resistance for the given network of figure. See, this diagram is given to us. Now one by one we will follow our procedure and we will find the Norton's equivalent current as well as the Norton equivalent resistance. Now the first step is what? We have to short circuit. We have to remove the RL, and in place of that we have to do the short circuit. So our diagram for IN, this will become like this. Here the 10 voltage of source as it is, then we have all the resistance, that is 10 ohm, 10 ohm, 20 ohm, 40 ohm, 10 ohm as it is. Just instead of load resistance, I just do the short circuit, and now I have to find out this current IN, right? So here this is my network. Now here in this network, what I will do? Simply here if you observe carefully, then you have a two parallel branch. The one branch resistance is 10 ohm and another branch resistance, that is what? It's a IN. And we know that the current always take the zero resistance path. Now please be careful. See, you can apply this rule whenever you have a one path resistance that equal to 0. But suppose if you have a one path resistance that equal to 1 ohm and the second path resistance that equal to 2000 ohm, then you cannot simply say that all the current that is passed through the 1 ohm. Alright, definitely the more current will pass through the 1 ohm compared to the 2000 ohm. But here we can ignore the resistance whenever we have another path resistance that equal to 0 ohm, or we can say it's a short circuit. So here we have a 10 and this IN, that is what is a short circuit. So what we can do? We can easily neglect this 10 ohm resistance. Now let's redraw the complete diagram by neglecting the 10 ohm of resistance. Then see, my diagram is look like this. I just simply remove my 10 ohm resistance. Now what you can do? Here if you want to use the mesh analysis, then you have to write down the 3 different mesh equation, and then based on that equation you have to use the substitution method or matrix method, and then you can easily find out the current IN. But that method is simply longer than any other method. And if we want to use the node analysis, that also a bit difficult for this particular example. So what we will do? We will use the source transformation. To use the source transformation, we have a 10 volt of the source in the series of the 10 ohm of resistor. So what we can do? We can convert this into the current source. See, my diagram will become like this. Here I have a 1 ampere of source in parallel with the 10 ohm. Then I have a 10 ohm, then 20 ohm, 40, and then it's a 20. Alright. Now, next what I can do? See, this 10 ohm and 10 ohm, that is connected in a parallel. So when we solve this, that is what is a 10 multiplied by 10 upon 10 plus 10. So 100 divided by 20, that equal to 5. Or in other words, see, we can say that whenever the two resistance that is connected in a parallel and the value of that resistance is same, then the equivalent parallel resistance value is what is a half of the total value. That is what 10 divided by 2, that equal to 5. So here in this 10 parallel 10, so what we will get? It's a 5 ohm of resistance, and the rest of the network, that is as it is. Now the next what you can do? You can simply convert this current source into the voltage source, because I have a one current source of 1 volt that is in parallel with the 5 ohm. So when we convert this, then what will happen? You have to multiply, because V equal to what is IR. So 5 multiplied by 1, that equal to 5 volt, and then this is the 5 ohm and 20 ohm that is connected in a series, and then rest of the network as it is. Now when we solve this, that is 5 and 20, what we will get? That is 25 ohm of resistance, like this, and the rest of the network, that is as it is. Now here see, we have only 2 loops. So what we can easily write down the mesh equation, and then we will solve this. Then we will get the value of IN. And if you don't want to do this, then what you can do? That is 40 and 20 that is connected in a parallel, and then 25 that is connected in a series. So you can find out the R equivalent, and when you divide the 5 voltage with the R equivalent, then you will get the total current of the circuit. And when you get the total current, then this total current is divided between the two resistors. One is the 40 ohm resistance, another is the 20 ohm resistance. Then you use the current divider rule, that is I total multiplied by opposite resistor. Here I am interested to find out the current through this 20 ohm resistor. So my opposite resistor is what? Is a 40 ohm. So equation will become I total multiplied by 40 divided by 40 plus 20. Alright, this is the one method. But here I just use the loop analysis. So here my one loop, that is current is IN, that is already given to me. And another loop current, that is what? It's a I1. Now simply what I have to do? Based on the current, we will get the some polarity of the voltage. That is, the first end will become positive, second end will become negative. So like this, here in a 25 ohm, that is plus minus. In I1, that is based on 40 ohm, I1 plus and minus. And IN, that is plus and minus. Now we will first write the equation for the first loop, that is I1 loop. So my equation will become 5 minus 25I1 minus 40. I1 is entering from the positive terminal and IN is entering from the negative terminal. So this will become I1 minus IN, that equal to 0. And when we solve this, what we will get? That is 5, that equal to 25 plus 40. That equal to what? Is a 65I1 and minus 40IN. Now you just divide this equation with the 5. So you will get 1, that equal to 13I1 minus 8IN. So this will become my equation number 1. Now the second equation I will get from this IN loop. So what that is? 40, and here it is what? I1 is entering from the positive terminal, IN is entering from the negative terminal. So I1 minus IN minus 20IN, that equal to 0. So when I solve this, I will get the 40I1 minus 60IN, that equal to 0. Now easily you can divide this equation with the 20. So what you will get? 2I1 minus 3IN, that equal to 0. So this will become my equation number 2. Now in order to find out the IN, what I have to do? I have to solve this equation, like this 2 equation. So I am interested in current IN. So what I have to do? I have to cancel the current I1. So equation 1 I will multiply with the 2. So the coefficient will become 26, and equation 2 I will multiply with the 13. So in the equation 2 the coefficient of the I1 that will become 26. So we can easily cancel out that term. So when we multiply the equation 1 with the 2, this will become 2, that equal to 26I1 minus 16I2. And when we multiply the second equation with the 13, we will get 0, that equal to 26I1 minus 39IN. Now this 26 is cancelled out. So what we will get? That is 2 minus 0, that equals to 2, that equal to 39 minus 16. So 23IN. Now the value of IN, that will become 2 divided by 23, and that equal to 0.0869 ampere. So this is the value of IN, that is the Norton's equivalent current. Now we have to find out the Norton's equivalent resistance value, that is what? It's a Rn. So for that, see, we have one diagram. Now we know that to find out the value of Rn, what we have to do? All the voltage source that we have to replace by the short circuit and the current source by the open circuit. So here the 10 volt of the source that will be replaced by the short circuit. So what I will get? That is 10, 10, 20, 40, 20 and 10. And from this terminal I have to look and I have to find out the value of Rn. Now if you see carefully, then this 10 and 10 ohm resistance that is connected in a parallel. So the resistance will become half. So 5 and the rest of the network, that is as it is. Now this 5 and 20 that is connected in a series. So that is what? Is it 25 ohm, like this. Now 25 and 40 that is connected in a parallel. So when we solve this, we will get the 15.38. That is the parallel connection of resistance 25 and 40, and the rest of the network, that is as it is. Now the value of Rn, that will become 15.38 plus 20, because that two resistors are connected in a series. And whatever the answer is, that is connected parallel with the 10 ohm of resistance. That's why the Rn that equal to 15.38 plus 20 parallel 10. So when we solve that, then we will get the value of Rn that equal to 7.8 ohm. Now we have the value of In as well as Rn. Now just we need to draw a one Norton's equivalent diagram. Now we know that in a Norton's equivalent diagram, we have a one current source in a parallel with the resistance. That is, if you remember, in a statement we discuss about the current generator, and then we discuss about the Norton's equivalent resistance. So here the equivalent diagram, that is IN in parallel with the RN, and then we have a one load resistance. So this is the answer of the given question. Now instead of this, like instead of the dependent source, we have a independent source. If we have a dependent source, then we have to find out the Rn using the one equation, that is VTH divided by IN. Alright, and the rest of, like, you can solve many examples that is based on the Thevenin as well as Norton's theorem, and you can verify your answers. You will get the same answer by solving, if you solve your network using the Thevenin's theorem or if you solve your network using the Norton's theorem. And the examples of the Thevenin and Norton's are very important for the we can say the GTU perspective. I hope this session is clear. Thank you.